of an emergency, please identify and use the exit closest to your location. Thank you for your cooperation and enjoy the show.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family members of the ICOM class of 2024. Please arise and remain standing as the faculty, platform party, and graduating students of the class of 2024 enter the hall and take their places. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the national anthem, sung by Carly Siglin, wife of ICOM OMS 3 student doctor Michael Siglin. Following the anthem, you may be seated. The invocation will be offered by student doctor Madison Summers.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, give proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, see, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? To the class of 2024 and to our friends and our family, regardless of who we are or where we come from, we are gathered in unity to celebrate the momentous occasion of transitioning from medical students into physicians. I invite you all to spend a quiet moment with me to recognize the various faiths, beliefs, values that are shared amongst us here today. Let us reflect on the sacrifices and the growth that have occurred over the last 4 years. Let us recognize our gratitude for our achievements, our intellect, our mentors, and the unwavering support of our friends and family, and especially the connections that we have made with one another. As we journey forth into the role of doctor, may we continue to learn from our patients, remain compassionate and empathetic, nurture the fragile, empower the impoverished, and find happiness and fulfillment in this calling. May the gratitude we experience on this day of new beginnings be the focus and the foundation for all that is to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Carly, for that beautiful rendition of the national anthem, and Madison, thank you for that heartfelt invocation. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Tracy Farnsworth, president of the Idaho College of Osteopathic Medicine, and to our presiding officers, distinguished guests, faculty and staff, to our precious students, and to their dear family and friends, welcome. Welcome to this commencement ceremony of the ICOM class of 2024. Seated with me on the platform are members of the ICOM Board of Trustees and other distinguished guests, including Dr. David Pate, chairman of the ICOM Board, who presides at this event, and ICOM trustees Dr. Charles Chodroff, Dr. Justin Frederick, Dr. Nick Turkle, Idaho State University President Dr. Robert Wagner, ICOM Dean and Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Kevin Wilson, Dr. Rodney Bates, Chair of the ICOM Faculty Senate. Also seated this afternoon on the platform are ICOM Associate and Assistant Deans, including Dr. Sarah Adams, Dr. Dan Bridger, Dr. Sarah Davis, Dr. Robin Drybelbus, Dr. Tia Finney-Sadler, Dr. Matt Linton, Dr. Thomas Mormon, Dr. Luke Mortensen, Dr. Richard Sloan, and others who will be recognized later in the program. We're also delighted to welcome this afternoon Idaho Lieutenant Governor Scott Bedke, a great friend and advocate of this college, and who will speak to us later. Ladies and gentlemen, the heart and soul of any college, and certainly of the Idaho College of Medicine, are the faculty and staff that give their very best to mold and shape and support these precious young ICOM students. Will the faculty seated behind me and all the other employees of the college please stand and please appropriately recognized for your tireless and heartfelt service. In a similar way, you graduates, and you know this, you would not be here today were it not for the love and support of your dear family and friends, many of whom have traveled long distance, I know because I met so many of them yesterday, all over this country to be with you today, to express their love, their enthusiasm and support. Will you students, please stand, turn around and give those family members and friends an enthusiastic expression of thank you. Oh boy, here they come. ICOM, as you know, as many of you know, was created because of the vision and commitment of many persons deeply devoted to preparing the next generation of competent and caring physicians who will serve this region and indeed this country for generations to come. To the founders of this college, to our past and present trustees, clinical preceptors all over this country, and to supporters everywhere, we thank you. Now, seated before us today are these beautiful student graduates, this class of 2024. This is your special day. These are the student doctor graduates who began medical school, you remember, at the very height of the COVID-19 pandemic. We wondered if they would come. And in a courageous and resilient way, they soldiered on to this happy day. These student graduates also experienced medical school during a season of unusually contentious and divisive social, ethnic, and political unrest in this country and across the world. And yet they have distinguished themselves individually and collectively by building bridges of understanding between and among themselves, and doing so in a civil and dignified way. As we recognize this class of 2024 today, let's please match their dignity and professionalism in all that we say and do on this occasion. Now, on occasions like this, I'm reminded that we measure time in minutes, but we measure life in moments. And so today, let's all capture and fully celebrate this monumental and majestic moment. Now, I hold in my hands, you probably can't see it, certainly not back there in the cheap seats. I hold in my hand a beautiful piece of cloisonne. The manufacture of cloisonne requires elaborate and complicated processes, including body making, wiring, soldering, sanding, coloring, firing, polishing and gilding, the history and refined processes of making beautiful cloisonne dates back thousands of years. In making cloisonne, you cannot jump from body making to sanding and gilding in a hurry, nor can you skip any step in the process. Every step requires expertise and attention and care. Manufacturers or makers of cloisonne always begin. They begin with the end in mind. In a similar way, your process of becoming a physician, your process of pursuing professional medical practice is arduous, rigorous, and well-defined in 1,000 different ways you have and will yet experience for the rest of your lives. The continuous molding, shaping, and painfully refining experiences that are necessary for you to become not only licensed physicians, but highly competent and effective and trusted medical professionals. And so as we pause today to celebrate this magnificent moment in time, remember these precious words from Sir Winston Churchill. Success is not final, failure is not fatal, and it's the courage to continue that absolutely counts. Well, now it's my pleasure, my great privilege to introduce to you this afternoon to the podium, the president of this student class of 2024, Christy Nguyen. Following Christy's remarks, we'll be pleased to hear from Dr. Kevin Wilson, our Dean and Chief Academic Officer. Christy.
Good afternoon, everybody. People often ask me what it's like being in medical school. The best way I can describe it is this. When we first start, everyone tells you that medical school is a marathon, a long, torturous road that lies ahead. We all scoff at the idea since we're all just so eager to have finally been accepted in. Then, when you actually start the race, you realize you're moving at a snail's pace. Along the way, you collect some gray hairs, some back pain. A patient's compliment gives you a mile. A preceptor's compliment, well, that might just give you 1.5 miles. But then all of a sudden you blink and somehow you made it to the finish line with an abundance of knowledge. Somehow you can formulate a plan that will help prevent diseases and treat actual human beings. Standing here today, I'm reminded of finals during our first year, from walking out of our first anatomy practical in tears to completing finals in the Riverside Hotel with our N95s, constantly wondering if we were cut out for medical school. As a class, we faced the unknown of COVID. We entered medical school at a time where most of us couldn't recognize if we had spoken to one another before because of our masks. We constantly wondered when school would shut down and if we would ever return back to normal. Yet, through it all, we adapted and persevered. What I see before me is a group of hardworking, resilient individuals, all of whom will be embarking into the beginning of our careers as deserving resident physicians. Physicians who will continue to challenge the landscape of medicine for those who came before us and those who will come after us by furthering it through advocacy of our patients. Lastly, I'd like to end with this. Before those 2 letters behind our names that make us a doctor, we are still human. Before we can heal and treat our patients, we also need to care for ourselves. I know it's easier said than done, but as a mentor of mine told me, allow yourself grace. Allow yourself to express gratitude even on the most frustrating of days, not just the uplifting ones. Spend time with your loved ones, chase your dreams, dig into those hobbies, but most importantly, invest in yourself. For Madison and myself, it has been an honor to represent this class the last 2 years. Congratulations, class of 2024.
Good afternoon to the graduating class of 2024, friends and family, ICON faculty, staff, administration, regional deans and coordinators, Lieutenant Governor Bedke, President Wagner, and to our Board of Trustee members, thank you for sharing this tremendous day with us. Graduating from ICOM requires hard work, passion, and resilience. The class of '24 faced an added challenge starting in their first year with COVID-19. Your class dealt with virtual didactics, N95 masks, social distancing, and countless COVID infections among the class. Besides hard work and resilience, you've learned flexibility and adaptability, attributes which will better prepare you for your residency and your career. These skills have led to great success in the residency match for your class, with graduates matching into 16 different specialties across 34 states. 15 of you will be staying in Idaho for your residency, and we hope many of you will return here to this great state to practice. Many of you have completed significant scholarly activity and added to the pool of scientific knowledge. Your class has contributed thousands of hours of community service to the Treasure Valley and to your core sites. I want to congratulate the class of 2024 for your outstanding work and your effort for all 4 years at ICOM. And as happy and excited as you are to graduate and move on to your residency, your family and friends behind you are even more excited. I want to personally thank your family, your friends, for supporting our graduates. I also would like to thank our hardworking faculty and staff. Without their dedication and hard work, this success would have been difficult. They have done a great job, and thank you, ICOM faculty and ICOM staff, for your efforts. During this graduation ceremony, everyone who is speaking wants to impart words of wisdom to help you be the best version of yourself as an osteopathic physician. I remember little of what was spoken to me at my graduation at Michigan State University, College of Osteopathic Medicine, but I distinctly remember how I felt and what my parents and family felt during this joyous occasion. In the years to come, you may remember little of what is spoken today. But please remember the first sentence of the class statement that you created in 2020 when you began at ICOM. The class statement said, "The class of 2024 is united by compassion, mutual respect, and humility." Many times, empathy and compassion are considered part of the soft skills of medicine and healing. Even though we sometimes think these skills are innate, they can be fostered, they can be developed and improved throughout your career. Please make empathy and compassion the bedrock of your medical foundation. Empathy is the awareness of other people's emotional experiences. Empathy is needed to show compassion, and compassion is the act of showing kindness, support, and the desire to relieve the suffering of others. Many studies have shown improved patient outcomes with compassionate care. As noted in your class statement, be united by compassion. Empathy, compassion, resilience, and active listening are not just soft skills that will help you be a better osteopathic physician. These skills are the structural foundation of your medical career, and they are the foundation of osteopathic medicine. They are also the best therapy for burnout. Your graduation today is a wonderful achievement. Enjoy today and celebrate with your friends and family. Please remember that your career will be blessed with many more highlights. The osteopathic profession will provide you with many opportunities to advance and grow your career in other ways besides patient care. Please participate in physician leadership, in medical education, work with students and residents, and become hospital and healthcare leaders. Your career will blossom and grow if you do. And when we ask you to be an ICOM preceptor, your answer will be yes. So congratulations to you and your family on this momentous day. Please remember ICOM, your classmates, and give back to students who follow you. Thank you. I have the great honor today of introducing our keynote speaker, Dr. Karen Nichols. Dr. Nichols is a prominent figure in osteopathic medicine, renowned for her contributions to medical education, physician leadership, and empowering women leaders in medicine. Dr. Nichols is an internal medicine physician who graduated from the Kansas City University College of Osteopathic Medicine and holds a master's degree in management with a specialty in healthcare administration from Central Michigan University. Her service to the osteopathic profession includes serving as the president of the American Osteopathic Association, the only female to ever serve as the president of the American Osteopathic Association, the president of the Arizona Osteopathic Medical Association, and the president of the American College of Osteopathic Internists. She is one of the first 4 osteopathic physicians elected to the board of the Accreditation Council for Graduate Medical Education, known as the ACGME, and completed her 8-year term serving as the chair of this board from 2020 to 2022. The ACGME board governs every physician residency program in the United States. Dr. Nichols has a long and distinguished history in medical education and served as the Dean and Chief Academic Officer of the Chicago College of Osteopathic Medicine at Midwestern University for 16 years. She has also held many other academic leadership roles in her academic career. Her book, Physician Leadership, The 11 Skills Every Doctor Needs to Be an Effective Leader, is required reading for all physicians interested in a leadership role. Dr. Nichols has won many awards in for her lifelong work in medical education and leadership, and was named the 2023 recipient of the American Osteopathic Foundation Lifetime Achievement Award. Please join me in welcoming my friend and colleague, Dr. Karen Nichols.
So, class of 2024, I bet you think you're done taking tests for a while. Well, I got one more for you. 2 sections, 3 questions per section. You can keep track of your scores, give yourself partial credit. Now, the rest of the audience, you can participate as well, but this is really geared to the graduates. Okay, first question. Name the last 3 teams that won the men's NCAA March Madness basketball tournament. Teams, not years. Okay. All right. Number 2, name the last 3 vice presidents of the United States prior to the current officer holder. And number 3, name the last 3 movies that won the Academy Award for Best Picture. How many of you got 100%? Okay, let's try the second section. Name the first 3 people you called when you got accepted to this wonderful school. Name the 3 people you spent the most time studying with during your career as a medical student. And name the 3 people that you talked to and received guidance for what would be the best combination of specialties for you. Okay, did anybody not get 100% on that? All right, so what's the difference? That first group of events and people were in the news for weeks, if not months. But you know, you don't really care about them, and they don't really care about you. However, that second group represents the kind of connection that you know how to do, and that is an important component, as Dr. Wilson talked about, in being a physician. Now, over 100 years ago, the father of internal medicine, William Osler, said, "Good doctors treat the disease. Great doctors treat the patient who has the disease." So I'm going to give you 3 little examples of what it means to me to be a caring physician, because that's what I want to talk about today and share my words with you about how to be a caring physician. Okay, first situation. I was a third-year medical student. I was on a cardiology service, and a patient came in unknown to the practice and came to the ER, and she had had a very serious myocardial infarction. And the cardiologist and the team did everything possible, but in a couple of hours, she died. So he was going to have to go out and tell the family that he had never met before about what had happened. And I asked if I could trail along, because I'd never seen anybody have to deliver such devastating news. So we went out in the hallway, and there was the husband and the two sons. And the doctor introduced himself, and he said, Mrs. Jones came in, and she had a very, very serious heart attack. And I'm sorry to tell you, she's deceased. They did not say a word. He excused himself, and the family just stood there stunned, as I did. And then the husband looked down at me, and he said, is she gonna make it? And then I realized that they did not know what the word deceased meant. And all I could do was shake my head no. And I swore then I would always emphasize good communication with my patients and their families, because that is such a crucial part of caring. So remember that, the importance of communication. Second situation, I was in private practice of internal medicine in Arizona, and so I was in my office, and the next patient was new to the practice, so I walked into the room, and before I could even say hello, the patient, this woman, leaped off the table and grabbed me in a big bear hug. And then she pulled back, and she saw the look on my face, because I didn't know who she was. And she said, oh, I know you don't remember me. But she said, I have never forgotten you. She said, I had my mother in the hospital, and you were taking care of her. And you came back to the hospital room that night after office. Family was around the room, and you were explaining to us and to her about what was going on. And she was laying there shivering. She was just a little bit of a thing. And you're in the middle of a sentence, and all of a sudden you say, oh, excuse me, I'll be right back. And you walked out of the room. And you came back with a blanket out of the warming cabinet. And you spread it over her, and you tucked her in all the way around like you would do a little kid. And she relaxed and was comfortable. And I swore then, if I ever had the chance to see you as my doctor, I would do that because of the empathy that you showed to my mother. And I challenge you, that was such a tiny little thing to do and made such an impression. Look for ways to share empathy and to communicate that empathy to your patients. Okay, third thing. This is not a medical story, but you'll get the point. One of my favorite political pundits was Daniel Schorr. Now, he's no longer with us, but I heard him being interviewed one time, and they said, how did you get to develop such a powerful skill of being a wonderful reporter of the news? And he said, well, when I was a cub reporter, my very first job, I went and met with the editor, and I said, what do I have to do to be a really good reporter? And the editor said, oh, it's really quite simple. You have to be sincere. When you're talking to the people in a situation that you're reporting on, if you're not sincerely communicating with them, they're never going to really tell you what happened. And when you're then reporting your story, if you don't come across as sincerely engaged with that story, they're not going to care about your reporting. He said, that's it. Sincerity. When you can learn to fake that, you'll be fine. Of course, you can't fake sincerity. It's part of caring. You can't fake caring. Patients have been studied, and they make a decision in the first 18 seconds if they are going to trust you as a physician. And frankly, I think it's probably shorter than that now. So you need to be sure that you are employing many more characteristics than just the 3 that I told you to demonstrate that caring. Besides, I go back to a quote from one of my faculty when I was in medical school. He said, your patients don't care what you know until they know that you care. So, a very important point for you to remember. Now, I have to comment about something else. You know very well the situation that you entered into with your in your starting time in medical school was COVID. And even 5 years before you came, we had no inkling of what that could mean and what it would imply. And you have learned how to work in that setting. And it reminds me of a little poem. I'll just give you 2 lines. Good timber doesn't grow with ease. Strong winds grow strong trees, and that is you. So those of us who trained before you, salute you, because you have been through something that we never, ever could have imagined. Oh, one other thing I want to give you a heads up about. People will tell you, I don't think you look old enough to be a doctor. Just let me tell you, that won't last as long as you might like. So, we're here to graduate 147 minds, 147 pairs of hands dedicated to cure sometimes, but care always. And you know full well that you're entering the second portion of your medical education and training, and there's a lot of big stuff ahead of you. It can be scary. It can be overwhelming. But just remember this. We're graduating 147 hearts. And believe me, you are ready. Congratulations, class of 2024.
Dr. Nichols, thank you for that wonderful message. And indeed, good timber does not grow with ease. And my goodness, this COVID class of 2024, they know something about opposition. And they are good medical timber. Dr. Nichols, will you come up here, please, while we present to you this beautiful plaque, an expression of appreciation for being here with us today and being a part of this great celebration. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, my dear. Thank you. I'm honored now to invite back up our dear friend, Dr. Kevin Wilson, Dean of the Idaho College of Osteopathic Medicine, to present to you the class of 2024.
Thank you, Dr. Farnsworth. It is my distinct honor to present to you the 147 candidates who have satisfied the requirements for the Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine degree at the Idaho College of Osteopathic Medicine. Will the class of 2024 please stand?
Thank you, Dean Wilson. By authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the Idaho College of Osteopathic Medicine, I confer upon each of you the degree of Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine as recommended by the faculty and the Dean of this great college. Accordingly, you're now entitled to all the rights, privileges, and obligations that pertain to this degree of Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine. Congratulations, graduates. It's a miracle. It's wonderful. Oh, what a day. We now invite these newly conferred doctors to come forward as directed, where in keeping with high academic culture and tradition, they will be hooded by distinguished members of the ICOM faculty. We also note that several graduates will have the special privilege of being hooded by a physician member of their family. These graduates and those who hood them will now be announced by Dr. Brad Chadwell and Dr. Justin Parkinson.
The first group of graduates will be hooded by Dr. Gary Brandecker. Dr. Corey Anderson. Dr. Corey Anderson also graduated from Idaho State University with a master's degree in healthcare administration through ICOM's concurrent degree program. Dr. Joshua Andrew. Dr. Hunter Bain will be hooded by Dr. Matt Bain. Dr. Caston Banham. Dr. Taylor Barton. Dr. Julia Nguyen Belleville. Dr. Zachary James Belleville will be hooded by the newly hooded Dr. Julia Nguyen Belleville. Dr. Benjamin Ray Black. Dr. Carly Black. Dr. Michaela Bowles. Dr. Ethan Brickman. Dr. Quinn Robert Bushman. Dr. Bronwyn Batuk will be hooded by Dr. David Batuk. Dr. Stuart Cano. Dr. Andrew Cecil will be hooded by Dr. Mark L. Cecil. Dr. Jia Husi Chen. Dr. Jaron Clark. Dr. Nicholas Clement. Dr. Sean Clements. Dr. Katie Coleman. Dr. Sarah Louise Condio. Dr. Christopher Corso. Dr. Patrick Cranor. Dr. Nathan Tanner Cross will be hooded by Dr. Scott Cross. The second group of graduates will be hooded by Dr. Sarah Davis. Dr. Gavin Crum. Dr. Keenan Sean Brownberger Danger. Dr. Jeffrey Benjamin Delano. Dr. Adam A.J. Dentinger. Dr. Reba Dillon will be hooded by Dr. Vic Dillon. Dr. Michael David Dialogue. Dr. John Downing. Dr. Blair Alexis Drake. Dr. James A. Drury. Dr. Braden Edelman. Dr. Blake Michael Ellis will be hooded by Dr. Sean Hermanow. Dr. Coleman Emery. Watch that last step. Dr. Laura Enzina. Dr. Nathan Epstein. Dr. Kendall Fagan. Dr. Frank Filchetti will be hooded by Dr. Amy Baruch. Dr. Hannah Firth. Dr. Spencer Fitch. Dr. Tyler Ryan Friesen. Dr. Ryan Fulmer. Dr. Thomas Gander. Dr. Jasper John Garcia. The next group of graduates will be hooded by Dr. Donald Dyer. Dr. Oscar Goldberg. Dr. Bethany Walker Gold. Dr. Aaron Goldman Henley will be hooded by Dr. Karen Henley. Dr. Allison Rose Greco. Dr. George Gurkovich. Dr. Hunter Hammond. Dr. Mark Hansen will be hooded by Dr. Charles Hartman Hansen. Dr. Zachary Douglas Harder. Dr. Nicholas Allen Harriman. Dr. Jacob Hathaway. Dr. Alexander Edward Hayes. Dr. Karin Hazard. Dr. Shahad Hasim. Dr. Colin Henderson will be hooded by Dr. Edward Evans. Dr. Travis Keone Henderson. Dr. Courtney Hill. Dr. Mindy Huang. Dr. Connor Hale will be hooded by Dr. Paul Hale. Dr. Christopher Hoffman. Dr. Spencer Hood. Dr. Brenna Louise Hauk. Dr. Destin Howard. Dr. Wilson Hunt. Dr. Randy Hewin.
The next group of graduates will be hooded by Dr. Jennifer Hotzman. Dr. Kushbu Johnny. Dr. Thomas J. will be hooded by Dr. Rodney J. Dr. Cassandra Jensen. Dr. Yang Tae Andy Jin. Dr. Kamala Enriquez Kadri. Dr. Nopur Kanani will be hooded by Dr. Bhargav Kanani and Dr. Shilpa Desai. Dr. Lucas Cowgers. Dr. Quinn Kinsey will be hooded by Dr. Perry Yazzolino. Dr. Mackenzie Kuchenbecker. Dr. Isabel Sheng Ling Lam. Dr. Jay Lee. Dr. Mark Lee. Dr. Patrick Lilburn. Dr. Cody Long. Dr. Darren Bruce Malik. Dr. Ethan Travis Benjamin McCarty. Dr. Taylor Mellinger. Dr. Mason Merck. Dr. Dallin Meredith will be hooded by Dr. Rob Meredith. Dr. Jacob Samuel Modisett. Dr. Nikola Naumovsky. Dr. Christy Wynn. Dr. Bridget Orada will be hooded by Dr. Jamie Irwin. Dr. Joshua John Outsley. The next group of graduates will be hooded by Dr. Lana Lynch. Dr. Chelsea Oxford. Dr. Raul Perez Reyes. Dr. Claire Aide Posadas. Dr. Abby Pro. Dr. Nabil Qureshi. Dr. Drew Nicole Rasmussen. Dr. Mohammed Mehdi Razapur. Dr. David Reese. Dr. John Riley. Dr. Lydia Rule will be hooded by Dr. Stephen Smith. Dr. Colton Safely. Dr. Kenna Jo Sand. Dr. Riley Sanders. Dr. Austin Scara. Dr. Olivia Elise Scholes will be hooded by Dr. Kristen Flint Craig. Dr. Christina Schramm. Dr. Kelly Schaefer will be hooded by Dr. Christina May Schaefer. Dr. Vihan Shah. Dr. Joshua Shea. Dr. Kayla Sisson. Dr. Benjamin Smith. Dr. Noelle Colette Sabatka. Dr. William Speakman will be hooded by Dr. William Brad Speakman. Dr. Zachary Michael Sukin will be hooded by Dr. Dean Sukin. The last group of graduates will be hooded by Dr. Luke Mortensen. Dr. Madison Summers. Dr. Danya Abid Tar. Dr. Christopher Lawrence Thompson will be hooded by Dr. Kenan Thompson. Dr. Christopher Thompson will also graduate from Idaho State University with a master's degree in healthcare administration through ICOM's concurrent degree program. Dr. Drew Tingey will be hooded by Dr. Marty Tingey. Dr. Tomas Luciano Tolman. Dr. Celine Desiree Tran. Dr. Kevin Tran. Dr. Mary Kate Tarulia. Dr. Kella Vangsness will be hooded by Dr. C. Thomas Vangsness. Dr. Austin Douglas Varney. Dr. Anup Vati will be hooded by Dr. Ronnie Vati and Dr. Nikhil Vati. Dr. Brett Villa. Dr. Kajal Vora. Dr. Roshni Villas will be hooded by Dr. Sabiha Villas. Dr. James Walongaton. Dr. Elizabeth Suzanne Wall. Dr. Jacob Welch will be hooded by Dr. Mark Welch. Dr. Sarah Winterstrom. Dr. Savannah Whiting. Dr. Danielle Wicks. Dr. Jacob Wood. Dr. Brandon Yang. Dr. Philip Zeke will be hooded by Dr. Corey Berlant. Dr. Kara Zimlowski will be hooded by Dr. Brittany Javed.
Oh my goodness. One more big congratulations for all of them combined, this beautiful class of 2024. Wow. Isn't it wonderful? Wonderful. Why don't all of you stand up one more time? My goodness. Stand up here. Wonderful. Congratulations. Wonderful. Oh, my goodness. I don't think we've had a more enthusiastic crowd ever. This class of 2024, we love you. We're so proud of you. My goodness, you've done it. We now invite Dr. Tanisha Denning to come forward and lead this class of 2024 and all other osteopathic physicians in attendance today in the traditional recitation of the osteopathic oath. Following the reading of the oath, we invite Dr. Ryan Hardy to recognize our military students and their special honors. And then we'll invite Dr. Blaine Maley to do something we've never done before. We've saved for this class of 2024, who will represent the anatomy department and all of us in recognizing our donors. Following Dr. Maley, we invite Dr. Marcus Capizano, President of the Alumni Association and member of the inaugural class of 2022, to give brief remarks. So with that, we invite Dr. Denning in the leading of the osteopathic oath.
Okay, will all the graduates please stand? Repeat after me, with me. I do hereby affirm my loyalty to the profession I am about to enter. I will be mindful always of my great responsibility to preserve the health and the life of my patients, to retain their confidence and respect, both as a physician and a friend who will guard their secrets with scrupulous honor and fidelity, to perform faithfully my professional duties, to employ only those recognized methods of treatment consistent with good judgment and with my skill and ability, keeping in mind always nature's laws and the body's inherent capacity for recovery. I will be ever vigilant in aiding in the general welfare of the community, sustaining its laws and institutions, not engaging in those practices which will in any way bring shame or discredit upon myself or my profession. I will give no drugs for deadly purposes to any person, though it may be asked of me. I will endeavor to work in accord with my colleagues in a spirit of progressive cooperation and never by word or by act cast imputations upon them or their rightful practices. I will look with respect and esteem upon all those who have taught me my art. To my college, I will be loyal and strive always for its best interests and for the interests of the students who will come after me. I will be ever alert to further the application of basic biologic truths to the healing arts and to develop the principles of osteopathy, which were first enunciated by Andrew Taylor Still. Congratulations, everyone.
All those who have earned their Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine today have committed to embark on a path of service to their patients and communities as they provide holistic and state-of-the-art health care. 10 individuals among them have taken on the additional commitment to serve their country in one of the military service branches. I stand here today to recognize those individuals and their commitment and thank them in advance for their ongoing service to our country. I would ask each of them to stand as their names are read if they are present. Captain Peter Budrov of the United States Army. He will be serving at Madigan Army Medical Center in Tacoma, Washington. Captain Hunter Bain of the United States Army. He will be serving at Martin Army Community Hospital in Fort Moore, Georgia. Captain Zachary Belville, United States Army. He will be serving at the San Antonio Military Medical Center in San Antonio, Texas. Lieutenant Jacob Hathaway, United States Navy. He will be serving at the Naval Medical Center at Camp Lejeune in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. Lieutenant Colin Henderson, United States Navy. He will be serving at McLeod Regional Medical Center in Manning, South Carolina. Lieutenant Rachel Planishek, United States Navy. She will be serving at the Naval Medical Center in San Diego, California. Lieutenant Noelle Sobotka, United States Navy. She will be serving at the Naval Medical Center in San Diego, California. Captain Ethan Brickman of the United States Air Force. He will be serving at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio. Captain Thomas Jay, United States Air Force, and he will be serving at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio. Captain Kayla Sisson, United States Air Force. She will be serving at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio. Please join me in congratulating all of these military officers and their commitment to our country.
Hello, class of 2024. If you could please don your masks so I can recognize you, that would be great. In all seriousness, when you guys arrived at ICOM orientation almost 4 years ago, we introduced your anatomy donor as your first patient. It would be through this individual who gave you the greatest gift of their life in death to you to be your first patient and teacher. From them, you learned about the human body, about disease states, about human variation, about working as part of a team, and about responsible and professional behavior. Now that you are shifting into your residency, it may be easy easy to take those early lessons for granted, but I assure you, Those lessons built the foundation for the physician you are today, literally today. Congrats. The gift of these first patients gave is no small thing. It is a part of your education that words alone cannot express, both in terms of the selflessness of their donation, but also the value it lent to your medical education. Last week, we held our first donor ceremony to honor the 168 individuals who donated their bodies to the last 6 classes of ICOM students. We floated an origami lotus flower for each of these unique and special gifts in the ICOM pool. It was touching tribute, and we look forward to building a more permanent memorial in the near future. All right, I'd like to end with a poem titled Their Bodies by David Wagoner. That gaunt old man came first, his hair as white as your scoured tables. Maybe you'll recollect him by the scars of steel mill burns on the backs of his hands, on the nape of his neck, on his arms and sinewy legs. And her by the enduring innocence of her face, as open to all of you in death as it would have been in life. She would memorize your names and ages and pastimes and hometowns if she could, but she can't. So remember her. They believed in doctors, listened to their advice, and followed it faithfully. You should treat them one last time as they would have treated you. They had been kind to others all their lives and believed in being useful. Remember, somewhere their son is trying hard to believe you'll learn as much as possible from them as he did, and will do your best to learn politely and truly. They gave away the gift of those useful bodies against his wish. They had their own ways of doing everything always. If you're not certain which one are theirs, be gentle to everybody. Now, for just a quick moment of silence for you to think about that experience. Thank you. All right, thanks.
Hello, class of 2024, distinguished guests, faculty, staff, and families. On behalf of the Idaho College of Osteopathic Medicine Alumni Association, I want to extend my congratulations to each and every one of you. Today marks the end of one journey and the beginning of another, and we couldn't be prouder to welcome you into our alumni family. The Alumni Association aims to foster lifelong connections among graduates while promoting professional development and community engagement. We aim to support our members and current students through networking opportunities, mentorship programs, and continued education initiatives. As you step out into the world as newly minted physicians, remember, you're not alone. You're now a part of a network of passionate, dedicated healthcare professionals who are here to support you every step of the way. Your time at ICOM has prepared you for the challenges ahead, but it's your commitment to excellence and compassion that will truly set you apart. Whether you're starting your own practice, joining a hospital group, or continuing to further your training, you do have the skills and knowledge to succeed. And I know what you're thinking right now. We just walked across the stage and this guy's gonna ask us for more money, okay? I've been there. However, since the foundation of this Alumni Association, it has been free to all of the alumnus, and it will continue to be so. So I strongly encourage you to stay active, to stay present, and stay engaged as the years progress. So as you celebrate today, take a moment to reflect on your accomplishments, because sometimes you're so focused on the future that you don't realize you're in the middle of what you used to pray for all along. And remember, your ICOM family is always here in your corner, cheering you on. Thank you.
I'm sure I join with you when I say that my heart is filled to overflowing with gratitude, and as I reflect on the miracle of what's happened here in the last 4 years, and really all the years that preceded this day, what What a day of celebration and joy. It saddens me that our event is almost over. I wish we could go another 2 hours. Should we? We could, but maybe we won't. We will hear, though, from our dear chairman of the ICOM Board of Trustees, Dr. David Pate, who's been an incredible friend and supporter of this college from the beginning. So let's hear briefly from Dr. David Pate.
It is my great privilege and distinct honor to convey the congratulations from all of our Board of Trustees to the graduates today, and also to express the pride we have in you for all your dedication, determination, and accomplishments that have led to you being here today and receiving the degree of Doctor of Osteopathy. I know that you will all now be going your own ways to progress in your training. And as you finish that training, we hope that you will remain in or return to Idaho. We will welcome you with open arms. And again, we are just so proud of you. We know you will represent the profession and this medical school with great honor. Congratulations. And now it is my privilege to introduce a friend, a great determined leader for the state of Idaho, and an unending enthusiast for this medical school, the Lieutenant Governor, Scott Bedke.
I'm very aware that I'm the last person on your program. But on behalf of the state of Idaho, let me say that we could not be more proud of this graduating class and of ICOM in general. And this was a vision that started a while back, and to see it come to fruition and to see another cohort leave, we couldn't be more proud. And as Dr. Pate said, there's always a home for you here in Idaho. I want to leave you with one last thought, some career advice, as it were. In real life, I'm a cattle rancher, and I represent the 4th generation on our family's cattle operation in southern Idaho. And I was able to rub shoulders with my grandfather, and he left me with this advice, or this saying. I didn't know that it was good advice until much later. He had a saying that his water was just as cold as John D. Rockefeller's. Now, I didn't know what that meant when I first heard that, but I do now. John D. Rockefeller got no more satisfaction out of his job than Ray Bedke did. John D. Rockefeller got no more enjoyment about working outside and being in nature than Ray Bedke did. He did not enjoy the love and support of his family and spouse any more than Ray Bedke did. In short, everything that mattered in life, he was on par with, if not better than, the richest man in the world. He was calm, serene, satisfied, and happy. He knew what Zen was before it was cool to know what Zen was. So my advice to you is to take care of first things first, and take care of yourselves, and then and only then can you take care of me, arguably a potential patient. So thank you for all of your dedication to the families. We are proud of them too. And again, we hope to see you back here in the Gem State. Thank you.
Well, to you, precious new, the newest doctors in all the world, sitting right here, right in front of us, and to your precious family members that have come long and far, the commencement of the Idaho College of Osteopathic Medicine is now officially concluded. Please stand. Please stand and remain standing. And please remain standing while graduates and the platform party have recessed from this hall. Following the recession, we invite you to please join us in the foyer for light refreshments as we greet and continue this incredible celebration of these wonderful graduates. Thank you for joining today for this class of 2024.